My name is Carl,
My name's Oscar,
and this is Who Would Watch This?
where we review bad films and decide who would watch this.
Well, apart from us.
So, Carl, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about Beverly Hills Chihauhau, which sits at 99 on IMDb's bottom 100 list. Currently has like a 3.9.
Okay.
I think.
Right.
Man, we kept delaying
We did
having
not
to do this. I did not want to do this at all.
You hyped me up for like an awful film.
Yeah.
It's a strange film. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I definitely didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to.
Okay,
So because I had... Well, what's your history with this movie? You've never seen it before.
I've never seen it before. What I assume, we can get really to what I assume, but watching it I was very surprised at where the story went and the choices they made.
Because I was back in the days of primary school.
Yeah.
When it gets to like Christmas time, so December, the school would then take everybody to the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
So when you went to the cinema once a year, it was the end of like school thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so ours was Beverly Hills Chihuahua that year.
And did the crowd go wild for it?
Oh, absolutely not. So I wrote down what I remembered of this movie. So I haven't seen it since I was probably 11.
Okay.
I remember that Jamie Lee Curtis fucks off for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Even though she's like top billed.
Insane. She's on the poster. I think it's just dogs and such
Yeah.
stuff, but she's, I think, the top name.
Yeah, totally. Well, she's like apart from Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
And I guess Andy Garcia. She's the only famous person on screen that you have. And then I remembered at the end of the movie, the Chihuahua is in a horrible green screen and roars. Not barks, but roars.
Well, now you're spoiling things. People that were on the edge of the seat, but I'm just about to watch this now. Oh,
You imagine putting this on and going, oh, they're going to spoil it. I'll watch it now and come back to this.
Let's give a quick summary of the plot so we can get into fine details.
Oh, okay. So, Chloe, a diamond-clad, ultra-pampered Beverly Hills Chihuahua, finds herself being puppy-sit by the niece Rachel of her owner who leaves for Europe for one of her fashion shows. Rachel is enjoying her aunt's wealthy home, but can't resist a weekend trip to Mexico with her friends. With Chloe in a tote, Rachel's party and quickly discuss Chloe, and she decides she will go home herself. Chloe quickly gets lost in Mexico and thrown into a dogfighting ring, where she meets Delgado, an ex-police canine, who is there and finds himself between his old enemy Diablo and the drug lord's dog who ruined his career, and Chloe.
This was not what I was expecting going into this. I was expecting... I don't know what film...
I'd forgotten all the dogfighting stuff,
Oh
so
my
I was in awe of the fact that the movie went there.
This is... it's PG. It wanted to be G, but I think Disney were like, we've got so much stuff in here, we can't make this G.
Sequel's a G.
Yeah, I think
this is the only one that's PG. The movie begins, and I don't want to be picky, but the opening title graphic card for Beverly Hills Chihuahua is... not good!
It's very cheap, isn't it?
Oh, they didn't spend a lot of money on this film.
That is actually why I think this film is fair enough to them. $20 million. For what they've done, I'm pretty impressed. That's a weird compliment to give, but...
Because constantly people in Hollywood are like, don't work with pets, don't work with water, and don't work with children. This movie decided they were going to tackle pets.
Exactly.
But I mean, does Disney just have like a sack of dogs trained?
Just a sack,
ready to go. Like,
I think so. And
they walk in there like, these are about to expire. We need to make a film.
Did you hear the trivia about the main dog? What's his name?
Diablo.
George Lopez plays. His
character. Right, the gardener's dog, the landscaper's dog.
He was a day.
Oh yeah, Dave
getting killed, and George Lopez scooped him up, and you're gonna be a star, kid, saving him from death.
Yeah. You know what happens though is he scoops that one up and the doctor goes, no, I'll just kill this one and move slightly to the right.
This treadmill of dogs.
Going, bang, bang. I do like the idea that Disney though is just like, we're about to have to put down all these dogs, and they're like, fine, we'll ruin them in a film, and then you can put them down just when they've had fame.
What do you mean ruin them? Give them a chance at the spotlight, and then bring it all down.
Do you reckon Disney ever considered doing Bolt as live action?
Goodness, yes.
Do you reckon that's
think
where it
for-
came from? I think it might have.
But then there's a lot of the gerbil. I think might be a bit of an issue in the ball. Do you remember that?
I think they'd be able to. Oh, what do you mean? The CGI of the goanna or whatever.
We need to get into that because my praise at the start of the film. Okay, let's go point by point.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, so we're introduced to the dogs.
Yeah.
How do you think of them talking?
I wasn't too upset.
I think they look pretty good sometimes.
Pretty good, yeah.
And pretty terrible other times.
There's certain scenes with stunts you can tell it's
Yeah.
a green screen, but I was pretty impressed with them because normally the mouth looks quite gross.
Yeah.
They've done a great job.
It's not on the level of Babe,
No.
but it's...
Is that the height of animal films?
Yeah,
that's
because
Citizen
it's,
Kane.
you know, it's,
Yeah.
that's George... Who did
George Miller.
It's George Miller. You know,
He's
doing
Happy
his...
Feet,
Babe.
Babe and Mad Max.
Did I ever tell you about that story of my tutor? Who was like, I was sitting down... so when I was in university, I had this tutor for like one of the writing classes that I had. And he was like, I was sitting down with 3 people who were in the industry and we were talking about movies and ideas and what people were looking into doing. And this guy was like, I've actually got this idea of this film that I would like to do that's about penguins that dance. And my tutor went, that's the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard. And then it was like, flash forward 3 years later, he's made Happy Feet and it was George Miller. And he went,
Oh, I get it. He's a genius. He knows the market.
I get it now.
He got a gap. The penguin dancing market, he filled it and he got it.
He was like, I've given people ultra-violent Mel Gibson. Now I want to give them Elijah Wood dancing.
With an environmental theme sort of sprinkled
and then
on there.
actual humans in it.
God, no, I've never finished Happy Feet. Is that how it ends?
Yeah, well, because he gets captured and taken to be in like a zoo, and like he has like a deep depression.
That's not a happy.
Yeah, and it's like, I remember being crushing as a child. He's like depressed because he can only like, and then he like lightly sees kind of just faces looking at him.
Yeah.
And so just like
Is that how it ends?
Sorry? No, it's like it's like he begins to dance for like his food, and people become like obsessed about the penguin.
Yeah.
And he becomes such like a little phenomenon for this area that they're like, no, we should put him back into the wild. And because of it,
kind. I wouldn't expect them to do that. I thought they'd milk him for everything else until he died.
So they put him back into the wild, and I think something else happens. No clue what happens for the second one. I know that Matt Damon and Brad Pitt are in the second one as Bill and Will the Krill.
What year was that? That's like the height of their like Ocean's 11 and like, alright, Happy Feet 2.
We're immediately going into it. God, it's gotta be. It's like, this is what we're doing right now, is all animation is. So it's like, when you're like, hey, Brad Pitt, can you come and do this? He's like, well, I want $3 million. I want to sit.
I want to sit.
And I don't even want to be like a main character. I want to be a krill that has a side adventure.
It's probably for his kids. I remember him saying he did like Sinbad and Megamind for like his kids. It's like, hey,
oh yeah,
I'm in this.
He did Mr. and Mrs. Smith for his kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Did By the Sea for his kids. You know, that one where he hits his wife.
Did Moneyballs like kids
yeah,
say.
Moneyballs. What was he? All for the kids. Gotta do it for the kids, Ange.
Child, we keep distracting ourselves. Let's dig onto Beverly Hills Chihauhau. We don't want to talk about it.
Alright, so we also meet all of Chloe's friends, right?
Yeah.
Who are stereotypes as dogs.
It's nuts how much things have changed since 2008 compared to like how we depict rich people. Because back then, it was so glamorous and unapologetic, like Paris Hilton. And now it's like sort of hidden. And it was a bit strange going back to that sort of idolizing rich people like at the top of their like, you know.
Basically encouraging like, this is what you want.
Exactly. And now it's like, no, it's like a subtle like in richness, but it was weird throwing back to that.
Yeah, like for example, the richness of this film in comparison to how rich the characters are in the HBO show Succession.
Yeah.
Very different.
Very different. It's tasteful in Succession, but like also they're hidden their wealth.
Some of the stuff they do in Succession is not tasteful.
I've not seen the full series. Anyway.
Well, what about the first episode when they like crush that child's hopes and dreams with like, if you hit a home run?
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I thought you meant just like the sort of like.
But I mean, what they do with their wealth.
Oh,
is
yeah,
gross.
they're monsters.
Sorry. Oh, how it's depicted is like much more tasteful. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. In comparison, they really want.
We're comparing Succession to Beverly Hills Chihuahua. You know, these films want different things. Who'd have thunk it?
So we've got a gay dog.
Yeah.
And we've got a black chick poodle.
Yeah.
And then the other one.
And the other one, just like the sides.
But yeah, so I had a friend who walked in on me while watching this, and he said, "How's the movie?" And I went, "Vaguely racist."
That sprinkled in.
Just a little bit.
We'll get into how they depict Mexico. It feels a bit cruel. They didn't. It's before using that yellow filter for like it's Mexico, it's dirty. But
what I wrote down was because I was writing down notes beat for beat, and one of the ones was when they go to Mexico. I was like, it's nice to see them not villainize Mexico. They go there and they're so happy and excited, and they're on the beach and they're having a good time. And I went, good for them, because in comparison to what Trump's been doing.
Sorry.
And then they go, all right, we have to go to Mexico City, and I went, oh no.
And then dog fights happen.
I went, oh no.
I'm like, no, Carl.
I'd given it so much credit far too early. It deteriorated so fast.
People, comically evil pooch snatchers with a big net. You're gonna fight in the dog ring.
But before she gets to the dog ring, we get a changing clothes montage with Chloe.
It's tasteful.
Really?
All I can say about
the
it.
one where she's dressed in the clothes of how Jackie Kennedy wore when her husband was killed.
You're
and
joking.
she says,
I did not pick up
she
on that.
says, "Oh look, the Jackie." Is that?
Why would they write that?
Is that what you think is fun? Look at kids joke for that.
The adults. It's like a Shrek, like, throw it in there. Everyone hates Jackie. This film isn't a comedy in the sense there's not many jokes, which really surprises me.
one part that I wrote down, I giggled.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it. We'll just cover it when we get to it. It's not too far away. Anyway, the other thing that I'm thinking of is the fact that these dogs are quite well trained, because only CGI on the mouth can do so much.
Yeah. I was pretty blown away, and that seems nuts, but the dog wrangling is fantastic. The dogs are doing crazy stunts. They're kind of moving their heads around, like, sort of like they're talking. Yeah. It's very impressive.
Yeah. Can't say I'm a huge fan of seeing dogs in films after having done things where you get to see how they treat the dogs behind the scenes.
Oh god, what have you seen?
Sorry? I think you've seen it too. I don't want to tip the hat as to what we've done, but I think we were both like, oh, they're just there in their cages.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
It's very grim. It sounds
Do you
like
remember
it
that?
sounds like a dog fighting ring.
Well, that's like, what do you mean? The dogfighting ring funds the podcast.
This is such expensive podcast. We need illegally dogfight.
I'd like to clarify, I was talking about how television shows and movies handle the dogs. Not that I've seen real dog fights and seen how they handle the dogs behind the scenes.
You're gonna get so cancelled. Carl loves watching dogs fight.
That's not what I said. But yeah, these dogs are really well trained. They're also do like a lot.
They are. They're mostly, and they're still. I don't know how hard it is to keep a dog still, but it's quite impressive.
Well, because I think it was like 27 dogs in Marley and me.
Yeah.
So I wonder how many. It looks like they're the same dog. Like, isn't Chloe just the one dog?
Yeah, Chloe's been in a lot. I mean, it's a bit sad. I'm not sure what George Lopez's character was. Which is, sorry, just real quick. He's the poster. So he's the poster. I thought he was going to be the main character. He's barely in it. Chloe and, I want to say Diablo? Is that?
Yeah. Diego, Diablo, have it written down somewhere.
There's two similar names.
Yeah, they are. And it was because the villain...
It's called El Diablo. Is it called El Diablo?
The villain's called Diablo.
Andy Garcia's Delgado.
Yes, Delgado.
I'm furious that Chloe and Delgado didn't get together.
That's one of my notes too.
I'm absolutely angry.
I think they have a terrific love story.
Yeah. And I think George Lopez is kind of a sex pest.
He is. He's like Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah. It's that. He goes all the way to Mexico. And I really quickly looked at the sequel. They get married and have many, many kids, and that's the story of that one. So it was just a whole...
What do you mean? They show that at the credits. There's the little love heart over them, pans out. There's puppies everywhere. Oh.
Gross. I really was furious that they didn't get together.
Well, I think when we pitch the sequel, I think we can rewrite some history as to how we want the things to work out.
Okay, so in the story now, they've gone to Mexico.
They have not gone to Mexico yet.
Oh,
How dare you jump so...
I'm so excited.
We haven't even gotten to the 8 minute 50 second mark where they say the title. It's very exciting
Beverly.
for me.
Well, they sprinkle in, I'm a Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
But one of the vaguely racist moments that I wrote down was when the nieces left in charge are looking after Chloe.
Yes.
Jamie Lee Curtis heads off for the rest of the movie, pretty much.
God, she must be happy with that.
Oh,
she got
for
to like
sure.
be in a big house, and then she was on a balcony in, I mean, it might not be Italy, but it looked nice. Just like 3 scenes.
She's having fun. The dog of the landscaper runs over and starts bothering the other dogs that Chloe has around.
Yes.
And so the niece heads over to the landscaper, assumes that he can only speak Spanish, and says, "Can you get your doggy-o out of here?" She tries to speak Spanish by adding O's to things.
Como estas, doggo, get
out of,
away. She does like the hand.
Oh yeah, she does little.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting.
And I thought it'd be played off a laugh that like the.
Doesn't even
Mexican
seem like
man.
it's played for
But I
comedy.
thought it was going to be like at the middle of the end, I speak English. And it's kind of like a bit like, you shouldn't assume. But he doesn't.
Yeah, it gets brought up later when she's like, you can speak English, and he's like, you assumed I couldn't. And it's like he's upset about it.
Yeah.
Because his character in this kid's film has genuinely had racism come against him, and the character depicts that he himself is offended by her behaviour.
And then it's like, let's reward this with them getting together.
Well, they get together because they both have a magical time washing dogs and getting them adopted throughout the film.
We need to there's just so many little scenes they throw in here that they were like, why do you film that?
Yeah. So the part that I giggled was Chloe gets up onto the bed.
Yeah.
And it's like, wake up, and the niece throws her comically against a window off the bed. It's like, just hits something and she's gone.
That's played for laughs.
Yep, so the only time I laughed was on-screen dog violence, apparently.
Again, Carl, I think you need to reassess what you do outside of this podcast. Stop.
What's that, Hang on, sorry. The hounds are barking again. I got to go feed them.
I gotta whip those dogs.
Have we got a weaker dog I can feed them?
I need them strong for Tuesday to fight.
So we get to Mexico, but it has this very tiki feel on the beach.
Yeah.
And so don't get me, this is the director of the Scooby-Doo films, isn't it? The live-action Scooby-Doo films. 1, 2, and then this. I think he's very, very into this sort of aesthetic.
I think he just likes going on holiday. I think he's just
Is he pulling an Adam Sandler?
Yeah, I think
where he's just like, I'll only do the movie if I get to take my family too, and it's a holiday.
Fine, but you need to take 20 dogs and carry on.
It's fine, we'll just tape them all together and pretend it's a child.
We've got a passport for them.
Yeah. So, Chloe's not getting fed when she wants to get fed.
She's used to quite a high taste of food.
What does she like? She likes steak.
She likes steak. What else she likes? She wanted something very fancy. I can't remember what it was.
Steak tartare?
Exactly.
I don't know. Something a little fancy. She's given dog food.
Ugh.
And she's so upset about it, she picks up a piece of food and goes pops it into the niece's shoes.
Yeah.
I think Chloe's a bitch. I don't like her.
You don't like our protagonist?
I hate her.
When she grows, she learns that... How does she learn that you could actually...
I don't think she grows.
I don't think anyone grows.
I think, Delgado grows. Why would you have 2 D names in a film?
And they look kind of similar, the dogs.
Oh, they do.
Oh,
I don't get, any sort of movie that ever has reoccurring characters that all start with the same letter. I don't think any movie should do it.
That's the writing technique. You don't have any name that's...
Go down the alphabet.
Exactly.
Your first main character's name is Andrew. Then your next character's name has
Andrew, Candrew,
Dandrew.
Rhyming's cool. That's
yes,
fine. That's
rhyming. Yes, rhyming doesn't confuse anywhere near as much. So they leave her in the bedroom.
Yeah, the Airbnb or something.
The
yeah. Hotel.
Who knew Beverly Hills Chihauhau was credited with Airbnb?
Exactly.
They leave her and they fuck off to go dance with a stranger. Here's the other thing. So have you seen the new Rambo movie?
No, I haven't.
Which is also very racist.
Is that with Steven Stallone?
Sylvester Stallone.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's Rambo Last Blood. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's over the top violent, but it's so insanely racist towards Mexicans. It's very right wing? Is right wing the one that's Trump supporter?
So. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but just having seen their depiction of Mexico, which is like, if you're like a white woman just out in Mexico at night, you're getting taken, raped, and murdered.
Wonderful. I mean, the white dog gets taken.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, those three like very white American girls go out and they have like a great time.
So you're saying it's still progressive?
Sorry, I don't think it's progressive. I just think it's interesting to see like two very polar opposite depictions of Mexico.
Oh, it's strange, man. I mean, like they.
Then you've got depictions of Mexico in like Arrested Development.
Oh, hilarious!
Well,
it's the exact same soundstage. They're so ahead of their time, Arrested Development.
They are. So there's a lot of subtitles in this for a kids' film. It's another thing that I noted.
You saying kids can't read?
I don't think they can. No. When I was watching this at the young age of 11, I was probably like, I'm not gonna fucking read that. What is this? The girl with this dragon tattoo? I'm not gonna read the subtitles of this.
She's an 11-year-old smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
Dragon tattoo. No. I'm not reading.
Actually, also speaking of those like movies that I used to get taken to by the school.
Yeah.
One year, so I worked for a cinema.
Okay, cool.
One year, when the cinema had the kids arrive, the wrong movie was queued for them to play.
What were they meant to watch?
I can't remember what they were meant to watch. It would have been in like 2013 or 14.
Madagascar 3.
Yeah, like something like that. But we accidentally put on like an adult film, so that all of the kids, and so you get brought in terms of grades. So kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, they're a group. 3, 4, then 5, 6.
Yeah.
So it was the K1, 2. They all went in, filled up the cinema. We put on the adult film. They sat through the trailer for Nightcrawler.
Oh goodness.
Which is like a R-rated trailer.
Yeah.
And just like shows like Jake Gyllenhaal like fumbling deaths and filming people causing chaos.
Road rage, crashing, all that sort of stuff.
He like with his camera, you come up and emerge on a pool of blood and like legs sticking out from behind the kitchen.
Bang, bang, bang.
And I just remember this teacher ran out and went, "You've got the wrong film on." And like my coworker I was with was like, and like just ran like flogged it. Like, and you've got to go up this like staircase to get up into the projection room to stop it.
Their mind being corrupted every second. It's like, what's a dead body? Death? No.
Teacher, why am I attracted to Jake Gyllenhaal now?
We're all attracted to Jake Gyllenhaal. Don't question.
Give him his Oscar. That's you.
It's me.
Anyway, so that's my little sidetracking story. We might as well just skip ahead to when she gets the dog fights.
Yeah, she gets kidnapped, and I'll be honest, those dogs, I mean, probably the worst thing to say, they're treated quite nice. The cages are quite large.
Oh, they've got loads of room to walk around.
Yeah.
We've just seen Tiger King.
Yeah.
They have it better than the tigers.
I know, right?
Yeah.
They try like royalty.
Yeah. When, again, we do not endorse dog fights.
Yeah.
Put that out on the table.
Put that out there. If it happens and we're there, don't take a picture.
Yeah. But if you are into it, come to my house this Saturday.
Yeah. Got a little ticket. Alright, so Chloe gets thrown into the ring.
Yeah.
And I think it's meant to be like a comedy one. So
Could you imagine if it was just unfathomably violent?
There was a part of me that was like, they might rip this dog to shreds.
Imagine if it was Chloe that kills the big dog, and it's all about her being like, "Oh, this is who I'm meant to be."
I'm meant to be. And she comes up the Louis Vuitton murderer.
Yeah.
El Diablo, is that the evil dog's name?
Diablo. Just Diablo. And then there's Delgado, who's the good dog.
Furious.
So Delgado decides to go and save the little chihuahua from getting killed by a deer.
Now, I don't want to poke holes in this plot. Why didn't he escape earlier?
Yeah. Because he does it with much ease.
Much ease. And then all the rest of the dogs escape. I'm not sure. I don't remember how they do it. Does he, like, open a latch and they all...
I think so. It just kind of cuts and they're all running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a high-tech dog fighting.
Yeah. As they're all running, there's a nice tracking shot. It's one of my notes.
God, what a lovely tracking shot.
Do you remember? It's like it's flying over them, they're running through the markets, and I went, that's nice.
Again, really good choreography.
So up until this part, I don't know what it is, like 20 minutes in, maybe. Yeah. I'm like, this movie's not that bad.
I was kind of thinking that too. I was surprised. I get the critics' reviews of like
it's
44.
Yeah, it's 40.
I was like, that makes. I've yet to really see why this film is like bottom of the barrel. It's not great, but it's not.
Because we get through the film Some things may emerge, but at the moment, I don't think it's.
I was so surprised at where this film was going and
Yeah.
how quickly it was moving. Like we're 20 minutes in and we're like bang 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 bang, and then we got like another hour to fill. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I thought that was the setup, but no, it just keeps establishing new plot points.
But because I thought the tracking shot was so nice, it made me go and have a look at who the cinematographer was.
Oh no.
Do you want to have any guesses as to I don't know why really good cinematographers keep doing these. Get like a start in kids' movies. Like I would say this is a director. This is this cinematographer of like one of the 21st century's greatest action movies. It's a franchise film.
Is it Red 2?
The
greatest cinematic masterpiece.
Bruce Willis, what's he doing? He's retired and extremely dangerous twice.
He's back again. What film is it?
He was a cinematographer for Casino Royale.
Really?
Yeah, so a real sweeping, energetic, awesomely shot.
Oh my god, that's the best Bond film.
Yeah, it's the best Bond film, for sure. In my opinion, it's the best Bond film. Like, that opening, chase sequence where they do all of the parkour and stuff.
Sorry, wait. What year's Casino Royale? Is that like a year before this? Did he go Casino Royale, a James Bond masterpiece, and was like, right, Beverly Hills Chihuahua, let's do it.
Things mustn't have been going well for him.
Because Roger Deakins did Skyfall, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's stunning.
But Casino Royale is quite well,
Yeah, so he went from because this was his follow-up.
Oh no, it was not.
The movie he got off of Casino Royale that repopularized James Bond for a generation and made a lot of money.
Oh, exactly.
The thing that he got offered to do next was Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
And again, the budget is...
That's crushing.
And
then from that point on, he basically just does kids' films. He then did The Smurfs and The Smurfs 2 with this director. Okay. Did Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James. He did SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water. He is quite old, so maybe he was born in 1940.
God, so maybe
he's like, kids' films are easy. I don't want to go through Casino Royale again of flying all around the world.
Makes sense. If he's with the same director, maybe it's just it's easy.
Yeah.
I think it's fair enough.
Kids' films, they don't
He'd be 80 now.
Yeah. What's he got coming up?
What's his name?
His name is Phil Mihox. Mihox?
Mihox, yeah, that's French.
I feel like he's retired.
Crushing.
Yeah, I think... he's got 3 things. He's got Officer Down, which is a nothing movie, and he's got 3 Pints and a Rabbi, which is a nothing movie, and he's got The Jumping Rocks, which is also a nothing movie. So he hasn't really got... His last of named film was SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water.
Is that right? Listen, 80, I think you can retire. I think you're fine. You've got Beverly Hills under your belt.
He's done... And he did a lot of he did Edge of Darkness, which is a fine Mel Gibson one, I guess. He did The Legend of Zorro, Went Around the World in 80 Days, Bicentennial Man, Entrapment, The Mask of Zorro. Did GoldenEye as well.
Oh, so that's cool. So he did for that.
Yeah. So he's done, he had his time. He had his time in the sun. So. Here's a bit of trivia. Oscar, do you think he was nominated for an Oscar?
I think he's won 5. Beverly Hills Chihuahua actually swept that year. Did you realise that?
I did not. And the answer is no, he was not nominated.
Oh, what a bad trivia.
How fun. We've had so much fun so far. Let's we'll just do a little bit of dot pointy stuff to catch on back up because we keep diverging.
I was gonna say, Carl, why do you think it is that we keep diverging from this film?
Oh god, there's so little to talk about.
There's so little to talk about.
There's nothing to really talk about until it becomes extremely ludicrous at the end. There's a rat that has terrible CGI.
Oh, can we go into this? So the lizard and the rat, what's their purpose? What's their purpose? And because the main MacGuffin is that Chloe's wearing a Tiffany necklace. It's worth quite a lot of money. So that's why the dog catches her after her. That makes sense.
But when they catch her, she's lost the necklace.
She's lost the necklace.
So what, they want to hold her for ransom?
I think so. I think that's their next plan. But yes, this lizard and this rat show up. And at this point, the CGI has been pretty good. Goes downhill at this point.
Oh, it tanks.
Yeah, it's a really shame. But I don't understand. They're the they're the Pumbaa and Timon of this film.
They're also very stereotypical, which makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a lot of sad. It's 2008. I'm not saying that's alright, but...
Even as a kid, I remember being very disinterested in this movie.
It's so much happens, and yeah, I remember stopping this like 3 times. I just couldn't, I wasn't just getting through it, I had no purpose. But yes, this rat and this lizard steal the necklace so they planned a scam. They go, like, we've done it before. They've, like, practiced this. What situation were they planning for a dog with a diamond necklace to show up, take that necklace, and get on a boat? They had planned that, and it's nuts. So then they don't get on the boat, they just hide with this necklace, and they say, we're going to be rich. Carl, what does a lizard and a rat have to do with, what can they do with monetary value? What can they do with money?
Oh, they can trade the necklace for... I'm not sure. Here's what maybe could happen.
Yeah.
What if this is a sequel to Ratatouille? And things have not gone well for Remy.
He's in
and
debt.
He's in horrible debt. His restaurant's gone under. His friend Linguini has been transformed into a... What is he? A goanna?
He's a goanna.
Goanna.
Yeah, the onward sort of... It's the Pixar universe.
Yeah.
He gets turned into a lizard. It's very tasteful.
Yeah, and then they've got to try and get themselves out of debt. So there's this whole sequel subplot to Ratatouille happening in the background.
You know what? I think Pixar could do it. They could really go into how a kid, like, experiences poverty. I think they really do that tastefully.
It's terrific. It's what Disney really needs to start doing, is just displaying poverty. Something I'm sure Walt Disney loves.
Yeah, exactly. He's a multi-trillionaire at this company. They go, you know what? The poor kids get a little film for them. They get a little one.
They end up trying to catch a train.
Yeah, weird. And
yeah, it's really terrible CGI. I remember as like running for them. We then have like a weird bathtub montage.
Yeah, so the gardener and the niece are like
landscaper. They constantly remind you he's the landscaper.
Oh, I'm a fool. He takes his dog, who's again George Lopez, to find Chloe, and they're like, we can't find her. We found these stray dogs. Let's clean them in a 5-minute montage cleaning scene.
And then slowly they just get like auctioned off as they meet more people. But it's an odd message, being like dogs need to be clean, but also they're Mexican dogs, and that makes me very like, I feel like that message is just not.
It's a very muddy message. It just feels vaguely racist. You can't really pinpoint it, but you're just like,
yeah,
I'm not sure about that.
So this whole movie, Drew Barrymore's dog has just like a slipper on like one foot. She loses all of her kind of clothes throughout the thing, and she keeps one for a little bit. And when she lets go of this, her last material product, what music plays, Oscar?
Is it tasteful? Oh, sorry, I've just written down, I thought the soundtrack was quite good. I remember at the start going, you know what, I'm going to go on Spotify and listen to this, because there's some bops in there.
I can be your hero plays as she lets go of that one last material item off the train.
That's powerful.
And this is 53 minutes into the movie, which I paused it, saw there were 40 minutes left, and was very sad.
Oh, this film drags so much happen. It's such an enigma.
It is.
I don't know.
Also, so the Guana and the rat then somehow end up in like a piñata in like the bottom of the store.
Yeah, they're eating candy.
But they're mooing as he runs after them because it's a cow, and I don't know who's making the moo sound. And that unsettled me.
I think it's ADR. We need more comedy. Moo's funny. Kids like cows, don't they? Yeah. So yeah, that shopkeeper gets the necklace. He grabs it, he goes, I'm going to be rich, puts in his apron, and then the next scene he's called the cops to tell me he's found this necklace. Why didn't this man run? Why didn't this man run away with it? Because that's what he planned to do. And then he's like, I called the cops.
We do have a pretty exciting sequence that we then come into, and that's that there are some mountain lions around when they get off the train and stuck in the desert.
God, it's nuts, this film.
This is when, for me, it really goes from 0 to 100.
Oh, they go, fuck it. We've got 30 minutes, we need something. So did they look better than The Lion King?
Some shots, yes, because they were real mountain lions. Other shots, no, because horrible CGI.
Horrible CGI.
Should Jon Favreau have, instead of doing The Lion King, taken his like $300 million budget and done Beverly Hills Chihuahua?
But all CGI?
All CGI, including the humans. Just, So, we also find out, just before the mountain lions attack, that Delgado has no sense of smell.
And he was a cop.
And we have a hilarious flashback, like it's an
my
action
God.
movie. What happens in this flashback, Oscar?
Okay, it's like, it's the most cliche, imagine like a cliche, my partner died in action, but he's a dog. So you see, this cop, I assume, goes into this drug lord's den, gets shot, and Delgado's like, I never recovered after that. I lost my sense of smell.
It ends with him lying on the dead body of a policeman in a drug cartel in this disappearance film.
It's insane. And then it just flash forward like, and that's how I lost my smell. Why not something a bit funny? Why not funny? It's a comedy. This was so dark. The tone of this film is insane.
So the mountain lions then try to attack them. It looks like they're gonna die, but then they are saved by...
Oh god, I don't know. Deus Ex Chihuahua. It's nuts. Just so a Chihuahua's native to... Are they like a rabid dog? Because it seems like a big 40 come towards them, scare off the mountain lions, and then go, you're safe. Let's go back to our ancient temple, and we can hash this thing all out.
So it turns out where her ancestors come from are like the Aztec sort of pyramid era.
Are they like what the cat is to the Egyptians? Are they the Aztec dogs?
But they've run rampant. I don't know what they're living off of.
No.
I don't know if they're implying they built it.
We crafted it. They have a chant, and I didn't pick up on this, but my girlfriend I was watching with, apparently it's the Taco Bell. It's a joke about, because the Taco Bell motto, I'm not sure what the motto is, but they've just reused that motto, slightly altered. So, did you laugh, Carl? Did you laugh at that joke, that Taco Bell joke?
Well, considering we're Australian, no, we did not have Taco Bell. Went right over my head. If they kept on going like, I'm loving it, or like make me happy or something like that, then I'd get it. Pizza's delivered to you.
How dare they not change this film for an Australian audience?
Just eat fresh. To eat fresh.
As Jared's Subway Chihuahua pops
no.
I wouldn't mind if he was in the dogfight.
If it was Diablo versus Jerry, just Jared, that's it. So at 104 minutes, we have the title again, when the leader of the Chihuahuas goes, "You're not just a Beverly Hills Chihuahua." So everybody's chanting. It really feels like a cult. And then it occurs to me, this is very Scooby-Doo one-line.
Did he use the same set? Did he just get a couple of Aztec stuff? He should just take that over.
Basically, every movie he makes, he always wants to end with like a chant, a cult, a secret cult. They're like, it's the Smurfs, and it's like, how are we going to end? Well, Neil Patrick Harris is going to accidentally lose them, and then there'll be a cult.
Can we do that?
Gargamel will be like, oh no, I'm getting overthrown by the cult.
He watched Midsummer and was like, that.
Retroactively went back.
I need to make Smurfs 3.
Yeah.
So at this point, I try to write down, it's 90 minutes. There's so many plots going on. So I've written down the relationship for the humans, the landscape, the gardener.
Yes.
And the woman. You got Chloe and Delgado. You got the evil dog chasing them. You got the rat and the lizard. You got the dog revolution. And you got all the finding the stray dogs at home, and also Jamie Lee Curtis in Italy. There's so much stuff. It's 90 minutes. I don't know why they've gone this route.
Yeah. And because when they started chanting, this is when my friend went, I'm going to continue watching this.
Oh,
he was enjoying it so much, he started chanting with the Chihuahuas. 30 minutes left, he got very invested. Yeah, he got hooked and he sat down with me. They then just escape, like... So this is... You just listed off all of the things that are happening right now.
Stuff,
so much is happening. They genuinely resolve everything with a sign.
A sign?
They walk in, they just somehow leave all the Chihuahuas.
Yep.
They walk in, they see a missing dog sign of Chloe.
Sorry, yes. My biggest flaw with this film is, why are the cops... So everyone is invested in this dog. Everyone has so much information about a missing dog. Carl, have you ever tried to find a missing dog?
No.
No, me neither. But I'm going to go ahead and assume not everyone in Mexico would know about it. Because the cops know about it, they have so many leads, and they find out because Yeah, just a poster. What are you looking at?
Just your notes. You got a big note.
I've got a big note. There's a big segue.
It's a big note. So all of the police are very invested.
Yeah.
Have you? Okay, well, how about this? Because I feel like this is also important. You a cat person or a dog person, Oscar?
See, I'm a cat person. I know. I'm on. Yeah.
Did I blow out the mic on that?
Go on, just blow the mic out.
Go on. Tell
Honestly,
me why you're a cat person, you fucking...
It's not for cat films, because... Oh, sorry, Cat in the Hat's a perfect film.
We'll get to cats. We'll get to cats.
I think whenever you go into a dog movie, I think you should take a bit of grain of salt, because I recently saw Togo was an 8 on IMDb, and it's with Willem Dafoe, and it's about a husky dog getting... Did we talk about this? I think we touched on it, because I think the cinematographer for the Cat in the Hat did this.
No, he did... what's it called? He did Point Break. We were watching Point Break.
Right. We're watching Point Break.
Basically, okay, this is going to shock like a lot of our listeners. We have a life outside of the podcast.
Yeah, it's called dogfighting.
Yeah, that's
we created the baby.
The stars of Point Break were there.
Yeah, I feel like all dog films, you should take a grain of salt, because I saw that at an 8 on IMDb, and it's okay.
Here's the thing though, you didn't finish it. Who knows it doesn't end on a really great high?
I googled the ending.
Yeah, but you gotta see it. It's the same thing. He fast forwarded through Buster Scruggs and he missed the good ending of a Tale.
I didn't fast forward, I skipped it. The difference. I like the first 4. That 5th one got a bit hazy. I'm like, I'll skip that one. Apparently it's the best one. Oh well.
And it's only because it ends on such a high.
Yeah,
so you gotta, because you know what, movies are so important in ending on a high note. Like if you have a good time and a shit ending, like it clouds the movie. If you have a shit time, then the movie escalates because of how good the ending is.
Yeah.
I was watching Pirates of the Caribbean 3 recently, and I think that third one's very muddy, and then the climax is so strong. It ends on such a really such a high for that film. So, maybe Togo.
Maybe Togo. Maybe I'll continue watching. But here's my thing: an 8 on IMDb is the top 250.
It's true. You're sneaking in there.
Yeah.
So,
and
granted, there were only 17,000 votes, right?
It was 30,000.
Oh, it's more than Beverly Hills Chihauhau.
Really?
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 Anyway, let's go back to you being a cat person, you monster.
Yeah, I'm a monster. Okay, I like cats. Yeah. I didn't mind this film. I just don't have whenever I see a dog on screen, I'm not immediately emotionally attached. I have to come to love them.
You're an awful person.
And I've loved Delgado, and I'm furious that Chloe and him didn't get together.
Oh, I know,
and George Lopez just snuck in there at the end.
God.
And now he's a cop.
Oh, I know. Okay, anyway, so basically this sign resolves everything. Everybody comes to find Chloe, but then Chloe is very comedically taken by...
Oh yeah, he gets snapped.
And it's they have the leash, and it's twirling the leash like it's a horror film, and then the end's just snapped off from a bite.
No.
And it's also, why'd they walk into the middle of the forest for her to go to the bathroom?
It's a dog.
Just go there.
Just go there.
Just go there.
Go there.
Go over there. My dog fucking pees anywhere.
Exactly. And I'll be honest, this is the film's opinion. They make Mexico look a bit like shit. They're very cruel with it.
Yep, they are. This movie's not kind of Mexico.
No.
Clouding children's judgments of Mexico since 2008.
Monsters.
Same year as Avatar.
Goodness, was it?
Was it? No, 2009's Avatar.
Oh,
I'm saying, I retract my...
Exactly.
This movie's allowed to look the way it does. Avatar hasn't been done yet.
Exactly. James Cameron's I just had the technology. You missed out.
So Chloe is now with the bad dog, and then Delgado gets his smell again because he loves Chloe. They go to save her. Suddenly, everybody has a gun.
Yeah.
It really shocked me.
Oh god!
They turn the corner. There's 9 guns.
Yeah, we got him, boys. Because Delgado pretends to be a weak dog, and then we got you, boys.
Bizarre. I don't think gun violence and things like that should be in a kids movie. Whatever.
Yeah, funny the big net.
Yeah.
Actually, they were always talking about there was dog fighting.
Oh, there was. There was a drug cartel, and the dog's owner was shot to death.
Oh god, yeah, they can have a gun.
Anyway, so we get to the part where I think I was rightish in my understanding of where the movie was leading to. Does she bark or roar?
She roars.
Right? It's
But
not just me that thinks that.
But it hasn't been set up. It hasn't been set up that she can't bark. I wouldn't mind if they were like...
Yeah, but they do it like... Here's the thing. They get like to the Aztecs and they go, alright, well, he can't smell and she can't bark. And then wrap it up 15 minutes later.
When did she not bark? Was that ever established?
Yeah, when they bark with all... It's all the dogs are doing a howl. Or a bark or something. And she does it and they're like, man, yours is really weak. You need to work on that. And she's all like, I'm so ashamed.
I've only got 10 minutes. I better wrap this up.
Yeah. So yeah, they then...
She roars, and all the dogs are...
she roars so loud that architecture begins to break.
Yes, I've written down she brings the house down.
Yeah. And then they kind of do like a play-by-play of like, ooh, is she dead? Is she not? I think they should have committed to her being dead.
You know what? They've got enough. Yeah, fuck it. Kill her.
Yeah, because I said Marley and Me does it.
Go on.
Sorry, no, I've written Marley and Me and Turner and Hooch like that's a full title. That confused me.
Marley and Hooch, semicolon, Turner and Hooch. Is a five-some dog film now?
You ever seen the movie Marley and Me and Turner and Hooch?
Oh, you gotta watch it.
But they killed off their dogs. Why can't this movie kill off its dog?
I mean, it's a Disney film. But then again, we've established that dog fighting's on the table.
That's true. But,
murdered cops are on the table.
She then, like, wakes up and then is like, wow, I'm in love with the shit dog, not the good dog.
Yeah, Fury. I don't know why George Lopez is on the poster. I get the Chihuahuas, but Delgado is such a core part of this film. And he's
scary-looking dog, maybe. That's why they don't want children to be turned off.
He hasn't got anything on the poster.
Anyway, so then Delgado's like, okay, Chloe, I guess you get everything you've ever wanted. I'm just gonna go be alone and chase after this dog.
That guy.
And then the police officer, it's like at the end of like a cop movie, is like, hey, where you going, officer? Throws a badge at him.
Why did he have a dog? A dog that size.
That's his badge. He went, I've seen it all. I'm retiring. You're in charge of Mexico now.
Frisbees it to him.
Oh.
God, it's such... I've just written down this. It's such a weird bunch of people in this Aztec tomb. Yeah. The gardener, the niece, dogs, some cops.
Also, he's like... Because I think she gives Delgado, like, the ultimate, like, hey, why don't you be a guard dog? And he's like, I don't want to be a guard dog. And they're like, hey, you want to be a cop? And he's like, sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, two are the same, right?
It seemed like he was... I don't know why. Maybe Andy Garcia was like, I don't want to... It's Andy Garcia, right?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know why... What's his point? He's like, he did all the things with Chloe. He doesn't get any of the rewards.
It's quite unfair.
Yeah. So is life.
So then they go home and they have to try and beat Jamie Lee Curtis to get home.
Yeah.
And it's like they just get home and they beat her. I thought it should have been like a Ferris Bueller type of like chase to beat her.
Gotta do that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, we forgot a slipper.
Oh,
it's in Mexico.
Where's the heart?
Exactly.
Where's the heart?
That's the issue with this film. There's no goddamn
There's
heart.
no heart. And anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis comes back. Chloe's already reverted back to her clothes and necklace. So I'm like, you haven't learned anything.
No. I've just written here, what's the message?
Yeah. But she comes back and Chloe like goes, ruff. But I would have thought it was funny if she did her huge roar again and like shakes everything.
Jamie Lee Curtis like, well, that's kind of
funny. Yeah, that's good. But Jamie Lee Curtis smells the dog and is like, this could be a new scent. Poverty.
Yeah. I could brand this.
Yeah. Bizarre.
That's how...
And then the other dog is like, well, I guess you aren't a bitch anymore. And then the girl ends up with the landscaper.
Yeah.
And then it ends on a sex scene.
Oh, so I've written here, ends on them fucking. Just ends like, hey, these dogs had lots of sex. Here's all their dogs.
Was this a note that we're going to get to or not?
I mean, I can touch into it. Okay.
Wait, hang on, should we wrap it up? Because then also, the ends on a sex scene, and then during the credits, the dogs go on like a... So you think you can prance?
Oh, that made me chuckle.
And then they say that Chloe's ruined with pregnancy. And then the movie ends with, if you're going to adopt a dog, know that it's a life commitment.
Walt Disney just like, hey, yeah. Is that what they learned? It's what Walt Disney... You know what? We shouldn't have made a movie. We've got George Lopez has 9 dogs now, and he's not happy about it.
Well, Disney's like, we adopted 40 dogs, and to get rid of them, we had to spend $20 million on a film. Don't make the mistake we did.
Learn from our mistakes.
Walt Disney's like, I haven't had a night out in the town in years. Nobody can dog sit.
Oh. Well, let's go on to my...
Okay, well, so what's your note? Oscar's got a big note.
I've got a very big note.
Big note.
Something on an IMDb fun thing. Okay, you know the niece?
Yes.
She is in a film called Ugly Coyote. You ever seen it?
Coyote Ugly.
Yes, sorry,
Yes.
my mistake. There's a guy in that film
Yeah.
that tap dances.
Yes.
Okay? Now, he was in an Australian, like, musical trope that just tap dances, and they're called the Tap Dogs. And I went on about an hour rampage just looking up their performances, because they're like a gritty tap dancing group.
Well, like aggressive?
Yeah, they're like angry blue man group. They're like, we're rugged. We're like, it's very strange. I love them. But I can't buy tickets to them. I think you have to go on this massive spiral just looking up Tap Dogs.
So, the group is called Tap Dogs.
They're called Tap Dogs.
And you got there because he is in Coyote Ugly with the niece.
With the niece. So that was just my jump. I just wanted to talk about Tap Dogs because I think it's insane.
I'm glad this movie worked out for you.
I'm chuffed. It's actually a 5-star film now because we've got me through Tap Dogs.
Because the niece is in things. She's
Yeah.
in Cheaper by the Dozen.
That's where I recognised her from.
She's in, I think she's in, like, a Tarantino film. And she's also in, like, she's in the new Olympus Has Fallen film. She's in things.
She's in stuff.
So Oscar, got any ideas of a sequel?
I mean, there's 2. I've tried not to looking at them. I thought they were going to do, like... Real quickly, I thought what this film was going to be was just sort of like, she's rich in Beverly Hills and he's poor, and they swap lives or something like that. That's what I thought this film was going to be.
Interesting.
And I was pretty... I say pleasantly, but it wasn't very pleasant. I was surprised at where the story took. So I thought, for a cheap cash grab. But she's meant to have learned that she doesn't have to be rich, but she really hasn't.
So I think the sequel is maybe from the point of view of the kids and not her. I don't know.
I guess so. No one reprised her role.
Because I think what should have happened is she, in the second one, she's given birth.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the dogs look like Delgado.
Oh my word.
And then
Scandal.
And then the landscaper dog is like, what's going on here? And they have a huge fallout. Basically,
It's
I
like
want
a 30-minute argument in real. It's like a
I
marriage
want,
story.
I want Marriage Story, but it's with chihuahuas.
There's also more kids involved, so it's really just... There's like he's got a Halloween scene, and he's got to take 98 chihuahuas around. It's such a crushing scene. Won 2 Oscars, did you know that?
Scarlett Joe Dodson.
Oh, gross.
And
oh no,
Adam Barker.
Oh, God damn it.
Nailed it!
Just a little fun fact. So I had to look up what happened to the dogs. George Lopez's dog, what's his name in the film?
No.
I don't know.
Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, let's go. In 2015, I'm going to end on a negative note. He died of bone marrow cancer. George Lopez attended the funeral.
Oh, no! Oh, that's crushing! Oh, no!
And finally Disney was free of that dog. A Disney exec was sitting in the back going, good.
The Disney exec was like, bury him in the sack that we held him in for all those years. That's what he would have wanted. Oh, no. Absolutely heartbreaking. Alright, well, Oscar, who is this film for? Oh, sorry. Oscar, who would watch this?
Who would watch this? You've forgotten the only title of our podcast. You're a monster. Okay, realistically, it's for kids to watch once at a cinema. It's you. It's you at 11, and then forget about, and then...
I never forgot about it. This movie shook me to my core. She roared.
She roared into your soul.
I'm pretty sure Katy Perry watched this and went, oh my god.
We need to do that. Can we get the dog? No, she's died of bone marrow cancer.
Oh no! See, you wouldn't be laughing if you were a dog person.
I'd be crying, but now I'm happy because I watch dog fighting because I get off on it. Cat fighting, no.
No. So yeah, you reckon this is for like 11-year-olds? You know, It's definitely a cash grab.
It's a great cash grab. It was $20 million budget, made $150 million. I'm sure the sequel...
I think the sequels are straight to DVD.
Yeah. Only George Lopez reprised his role.
Really?
Yeah. Did all three. Everyone else dropped out.
Andy Garcia's still just...
He's still looking for
It's
that.
like, hey, did I get that paycheck in the mail from Beverly Hills Chihauhau 3 yet? God, who would watch this?
Okay, other than kids, how do you think parents of the kids...
Do you think a dog lover would watch this and enjoy it? This isn't a Marley, me, and Turner and Hooch.
Here's my thing about dog films, or dog people, is that I think dog people hate Chihuahuas the most.
Yeah,
I think most people who are proclaimed dog lovers...
Why is Chihuahua like the dog of the wealthy?
It's the wealth of 2008. It's kind of an out fact. It was the handbag dog.
Oh, okay.
I think that's...
Because it's a dog as an accessory.
Yeah, exactly. He dresses up like in this film.
Yeah.
They're a bit... I mean, I don't really mind them. They're a bit small and a bit yappy, but they're fine. But yeah, dog people seem to hate them. So I don't know if a dog person would like this, really.
Would a cat person like it? Because there's a lot of dog violence.
Well, no. You saying, did I like this because of the dog violence?
Yep.
The dog fighting scene? I wish...
Go on, say it.
Diablo ripped...
Say it.
What's her name again?
Chloe.
I really wish you ripped her to shreds. Wish she ripped him to shreds. That would be a powerful movie. It would be a feminist movie.
I think so too. I think that's a better film. It's all about dog fighting. Chloe finds herself at a dog fighting ring. Walt
Disney's over the moon. It's like, we can finally kill those dogs.
They did it all practically.
It's a snuff film.
As for me, who would watch this? God. This movie's so strange. It's so strange.
That's my biggest, not even critique, just I'm so amazed at what this film was. I was expecting some dumb slapstick comedy, dumb dog puns.
Yeah.
And just kind of in the Beverly Hills Chihuahua. I thought it would be the Prince and the Pauper sort of situation. It's not that in the slightest.
Prince and the Paupers?
Sorry, Rags to Riches. Swapping around.
What's Prince and the Paupers?
Pauper? Have I gotten that wrong? I'm going to be mocked now. Isn't that the prince and a very poor... It's like Aladdin. Oh, no, not Aladdin. Which one's
Porpoise is an animal, isn't it?
Well, now I feel foolish. What's the story trope?
You want to do... It's Rags to Riches.
No,
but as a swap, it's like a trading places scenario.
The trading play... I think
but
it's...
like a Prince and the Pauper.
Why have I got that on my mind?
Maybe I'm wrong. A Mark Twain novel, The Prince and the Pauper. The Prince and the Pauper is a novel by American author. The novel represents Twain's first attempt at historical fiction. I get a little rundown of the plot here.
Am I right?
Tells the story of two young boys who were born on the same day and are identical in appearance, Tom Catney and a pauper who lives with his abusive alcoholic father in Ophel Court off Pudding Lane in London, and Edward V of England, son of Henry... Okay.
Cool. All right.
So you were right. I'll retract my statement.
Thank you. I'm happy about that. So yeah, I thought it'd be that.
That was Prince and the Couscous. What about that?
The small pasta.
Pasta. It's couscous. The food's so nice and
Couscous.
intertwined.
It's couscous.
Couscous.
It's not couscous.
Couscous.
Stop saying it.
Couscous.
It's saying so weird. It's couscous.
It's the porpoise and the couscous.
Oh,
the Prince and the Porpoise and the Couscous.
Bryan,
Turner and Hooch and Marley and me. What was your palate cleanser?
I went to bed. It's so depressing. Oh no, actually, a palate cleanser was the Kissing Booth.
Oh no, you followed it immediately
back
up
to back. We're really smashing that this week.
I watched the second Pirates of the Caribbean and I had a great time.
A great time. That's pretty good.
Second Pirates of the Caribbean is the first one I saw in cinemas of the Pirates films. It was the first one I ever saw.
Mm.
And I remember it really blew my mind. So I'm sure there's some nostalgia I have for that film.
Yeah.
But that movie's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. And I think it's
I thought the first and the second were loved. And
even the first isn't. It's 75. It's not even that. It's not even certified fresh, I don't think. The first one. And the second one's in the 50s and the third one's in the 40s.
That's very strange.
Yeah. But anyway, I think, you know what it was though, watching it, is how similar they are to Infinity War and Endgame.
What, just in terms of like cinematography?
No,
Or
like
just,
I mean they were both shot back to back with
Yeah.
like an intense amount of money. The second one ends on a cliffhanger.
Mm.
It's all about trying to retrieve him from the dead. The second one goes for like the third one goes for like 3 hours.
Yeah, quite.
It's real, but there's like a ton of they both have a fully CG realized villain who's collecting the 6 pieces of 8. Like
They just stole.
like they're so similar to me. Like if you don't know what the real like mythology of Thanos is in the comics, is he was getting the Infinity Stones for death, I think.
Oh, really? He's
in the
that.
comics, and Death is a woman he fell in love with, and then they had like a betrayal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much what it is for the third one, which is Calypso and Davy Jones. Is like he's
Wow.
yeah. So it was almost like I wonder if they didn't do the actual subject from the comic because
They were like,
it was literally very similar to Pirates of the Caribbean.
I've not heard that comparison though. That's pretty nuts.
I'm sure if you actually like, it's probably a very good like point for Disney to go, yeah, we'll let you do this. It worked out really well for Pirates of the Caribbean to do like back-to-back movies. And,
Yeah, of course.
So yeah.
So you're saying that Marvel's going to follow it up with A Stranger Tide and then... God, what was that fifth one? That was really painful.
It's got multiple titles. It's like...
Salazar's Revenge?
Yeah, Salazar's Revenge is now is like the Australian one.
Yeah.
But it was originally Dead Men Tell No Tales,
Yeah.
which is the cinematic one in the American title, so I don't know that.
It's amazing.
So,